All right. Well,
I'm seeing that right now.
of course. So I had a hard drive do some fun stuff, and that's what the video loading was about. Hey, everybody. I-Novae Studios live stream here. We had a patch just the other day. I think it was on the 7th. Correct there. We have added a couple new things to the game. We've been continuing to work on bugs and other content for tutorials. The patch notes are linked in the description. We're going to be covering those. I've got Flavian here with me.
Hey, everybody.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I guess my camera's super tiny. I had to rework some OBS stuff. Yeah. So Flavian's been busy working on a bunch of things. He's kind of our main programmer right now. Just kind of one-man team on that for the time being. Let's see. We're going to be covering, starting off with our kind of sandbox enhancements. So in the last couple patches, we've introduced the single-player offline sandbox mode. And one of the reasons for that, besides having the ability to host a local server and in the future share that server with others, let's see. So we've kind of expanded the functionality, and this is a first implementation of the modifiers. Modifiers or filters, depending on how you want to refer to them. Changing a bunch of the different game settings in the local match that you set up. So one of the things here that's requested is to have unlock upgrades and unlock weapons checked. So if you want to play around and on a server and upgrade and work towards different unlocks and stuff, you can actually come into the sandbox now and test everything in an unlocked state. So you don't have to wait for your credits to accumulate to know how something works on your ship. So you could build a loadout in your offline mode, have it tuned to your preferences and playstyle, and figure out how you want that to work. And then that carries over to the multiplayer environment where you can then work towards that loadout. So it gives you kind of more of an opportunity to build that target for upgrades. Let's see. So a bunch of other upgrades here that have gameplay modifiers. Hey, Flavian, maybe you want to go over that? I guess maybe also mention the temporary nature of the way some of these are laid out.
Yeah, maybe first I need to explain a bit that there is, as you can see on the right, XP credits bonus system. So depending on which modifiers you are using, you will get a bonus or a negative value for the rewards, up to minus 100%. So the idea is that if you put some modifiers that makes the game easier, you will get a malus. While if you make some modifiers that make the game harder, you will get a bonus. And this affects the rate at which you receive XP and credits. And another thing to note is that we have a whole bunch of modifiers here. You can see that some of them are, let's say, damage plus 10%, damage plus 25, plus 50, minus 10, minus 25, and so on and so on. So this is something we are planning on improving in the next iteration, where we will replace all of these with a single slider instead. Because right now it's using a lot of checkboxes for basically the same modifier. So that will make it easier, and we can add more modifiers later on. So for the actual modifiers, I think the ones that are really interesting are the ghost mode. If you are a new player, so that allows you to get into the game, and the ships are not attacking you. So they are not aggressive toward you, but the battles are still going to happen, as usual. So you can still participate to the battles. And the second you fire at the target, it will shoot back at you. So they are no longer aggressive toward you, but they still defend themselves. The next one is elite ships. So this increases the skill level on accuracy of all AI ships. Then you have the SP rate, which is the rate at which ship points accumulate. And with ship points, you are able to spawn the bigger ships more quickly. The hardcore mode, also interesting. So the game the match is over as soon as you die or suicide. So
Yeah.
that's very easy. And that's a good way to increase the amount of XP and credits rewards. So I think if I remember well, it doubles it.
Yeah, and it's good to mention. It's good to mention as well. The XP and rewards bonus is just for the local server. You unlock things in the local server. It doesn't actually unlock things in your online server setting. So this is a separate ecosystem, separate environment where you can play
it does
around
not
with
affect
stuff.
anything in terms of the multiplayer. Yeah.
Good question. Good
then
question.
you have the
Sorry, I just got a question here from Pendrocker. Are the gameplay modifiers currently hard coded?
It's hard to answer this question. It depends on what you mean by hard-coded. They are all accessible through the script system.
Yeah.
They are hard-coded in the sense that you cannot add customized gameplay modifiers.
Yeah. Would it be correct?
But they are accessible through the script system, if that was the question.
Okay. Yeah. Because it'd be correct to say that this is kind of a first layer to the mod system, right?
Yeah,
Obviously
it can be used in mods, yeah.
It's all part of the modding system. So this is just a UI interface that's revealing some of that stuff and then providing
it's a very simple version, like for people, to quickly modify some gameplay without having to modify script, right? Because not everybody has scripting knowledge. So it's really like for the main gameplay modifiers that people who are not interested into scripting may want to use. So continuing, you can select whether you start with 0 ship points or if you max your ship points when you start the game. Unlock upgrades, unlock weapons. So remember, all of that is temporary. So you can unlock upgrades on weapons, but only for the game you are about to play in Sandbox. Like the next time you start Sandbox, everything resets again. Multi-battle is an interesting one, which I haven't tested all that much. So I would not be surprised if sometimes there are bugs in all of that. But it allows to have battles occur at the same time, multiple battles. So you can have one attack battle and one defense battle. One important thing to note, because I saw some people were having performance trouble on Steam. So the server is hosted locally. Like it's literally the same code, whether it's the online multiplayer or whether it's the offline sandbox. The difference is that in the online multiplayer, we are hosting the server, the dedicated server ourselves into our infrastructure. While with the sandbox, you are yourself hosting the server locally. And it's all transparent. So like as a player, you don't really have to care about a local server being hosted. Everything is secure and everything is, all transparent. But one thing that is important to know is that the performance of the server, since it runs on your local machine on the client, with all the graphics and everything, and all the physics is also going on, it's going to stress your machine a bit more than the online multiplayer, especially in massive battles. And so if you have a very slow CPU, like, I don't know, 5 to 10 years old, I think enabling multiple battles is not going to work very well. You're going to, there's going to be too much ships into the game. You're going to reach like 400, 500 ships. And your CPU is not going to be able to catch up with that. And you're going to have crazy teleporting around and various networking stuttering problem.
Well, that's where having an option to control the maximum number of ships spawned.
We should probably add a slider for that at some point.
As well, if you want to go, because we actually did a test a while back on a different, I think it was a different server, more powerful server, and we had double the number of bots. I think it was in that instance, and it was a little crazy. So yeah, you run it. If you have a powerful machine, server. Yes, if you have a powerful machine, you'll be able to, like, once we have that, we can see what people produce with that. But yeah, if you have performance issues, go to a smaller or a medium Battlescape environment. Okay, I think that pretty much covered the. You did have projectile speed in here as well, which is a little fun to play with. especially when you max it or could go to the minimum. Projectiles are
Yep.
moving so slow. Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah.
One thing we did not really decide is, all these damage, projectile speed, and shield modifiers, they are not affecting the difficulty, like the XP credits reward. The reason for that is that all of these are affecting your ship as well. So not only are you changing the projectile speed of all other ships in the battle, but also your ship as well. Same thing for the damage. Like if you, let's say, put damage to plus 100%, so you double the damage. So all other ships are going to do double damage, but your ship is also going to do the double damage. So it was not immediately obvious, like, or it affected the challenge of the game. Like, is it making the game more difficult or easier? Or maybe it's completely neutral. So that's why so far we haven't really adapted the XP credits reward for these options. But maybe later we will find, for example, that, I don't know, making the projectile speed minus 50% is making the game easier for everybody. And so maybe we will have to adapt the rewards for that.
Yeah, well, it's something we can look at. The other big thing here in the sandbox is a new flight mode, free flight. So there's no match, no objectives, just fly around, explore, and train. So if you just want to kind of check out the different planets and stuff in the game, if you have free flight set and you go to a large battlescape, is it still going to spawn all the stations and everything?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, okay. It still spawns the entire environment. It's just there's not going to be any combat going on.
Yep, no mission, nothing.
Yeah. So as we continue to work on this, we'll come up with different modes, different game modes. If you have suggestions or ideas for other modes, feel free to recommend on the Discord or on the Steam forums. We try to read everything. What was it? The only thing to know about that is development resources are pretty limited right now. So the kind of mode that you're talking about, if you want to really do a deep dive and talk with Pendrocker and others who have been modding parts of the game about building your own overall game mode, that's something we could probably discuss at some point. But it's not something that would get a lot of attention officially. Our resources are stretched pretty thin for that. Yeah. So that kind of covers all of the enhancements right now for the sandbox. If there's anything else you want to mention about it, Flavian, I think we've talked for long enough on this, about 12 minutes or so.
I think so.
Yeah, we can move on to the next topic here. So I'm gonna join the US East server. We do have a community event running on our Discord right now, so there's a couple people in the Discord lobby there. You can jump over and join them for some online VoIP. Let's just see if we're online. Just a few people online today. Jump on there. Yeah, there are quite a few people asking, like, why is the player base so low right now? We've been very inactive lately. A lot of real world responsibilities and stuff have kind of taken our attention away from the online community. Well, that's part of the reason for our absence. Development right now with a limited number of people available with limited time is kind of making advancement a little slower. We're continuing to work to that 1.0, and we'll have some things to mention at the end of the notes review. Yeah. Okay, so weapon presets. This is kind of the core, like, besides the sandbox enhancements, we're continuing to work on that. The big thing in this patch is the loadout screen and loadout customization, specifically with regard to preset keys. The concept is to improve the overall usability of weapon systems for larger ships with lots of weapon groups. So at the moment, if you have 10 groups, let's jump over. I'll just do a quick review on a larger ship that has a lot more hard points and weapons. So here's the loadout screen here. This has been added as of this last patch. It includes presets customization, as well as the payload for all of your munitions, how many missiles you're carrying, whether or not you have drones, torpedoes, etc. So everything that's in the ship's payload or cargo hold would be here. Kind of corresponds to the stuff here. So if I add extra mines, yeah, I have 9 mines now. I know how many I have, and I know how many launchers I have. Get a little bit more feedback. So for instance, medium ammo, you can see how that impacts my munitions supply. Right, that kind of covers the payload system. I got people in game that are chatting it up. Anything to mention about that right now?
Yeah, about the payload. Right now, it shows the max capacity of the payload. So while you are on the spawning screen, it doesn't really matter. But if you are in game and let's say you deploy some mines, this number will not drop. It will still show up as 9 mines. So this is something we might change in the next patch. I think it would make more sense while you are in game to show the current amount of ammo or other things you have in your payload.
Yeah, this is your max capacity, like fully loaded.
Right now, it's only the max capacity. So even if you have, let's say, depleted all your chaffs, if you were on a small ship, right now on the destroyer it's 0, but on an interceptor it would be, I think, 10 chaffs or something. But if you had deployed all the chaffs, it would still show as a max capacity in this screen.
And I think the main reason you're mentioning that is the payload system isn't real time. This just shows what the default loadout's maximum load up is if everything's fully loaded. The preset system functions whether or not you're spawned. So I was testing that yesterday, and kind of get to this now so I can show you how this works. Then I spent some time last night building out a number of preset profiles here for each ship class. Kind of just start with the destroyer. So the idea is instead of managing each weapon system manually, multiple weapon systems will have, I think, 3 firing modes. You have off, auto aim, an auto fire, and then an auto aim manual fire. And those are the 3 defaults for capital ships right now. There is a minor bug because of control issues with the Corvette and how that was implemented, but that's something that's on our radar. If you do find any bugs like that, just let us know as well. So instead of controlling each individual weapon group and manually playing across your number line or setting up keybinds to better efficient manage all the weapon settings, we have a preset system. So each preset stores a state for each group. So the group of weapons that you would normally control in the loadout screen, and we'll get to that in a second in game, they all have states, right? Auto, so AMS laser is on auto aim manual fire right now, manual fire, and then auto fire and off. So by using this, I can build a preset state like so for different use cases. And what you can do as well here is rename each of them. So right now I just have the first one is set to all auto. That, so everything's automatically turned on, including my missile array is active, but manual. Missiles, proximity mines, I like to leave off the presets because when you use the preset with a proximity mine, it'll drop a mine. Same thing with the warp jammer. So these are kind of here for if you want to have a different input. So you want to have a preset assigned to a specific keybind. I believe that works that way, where you can have that preset proximity mines set to 10. And I believe that'll be actually 10 every time, right, Flavian? It'll be the same key every time for that. Am I correct?
You can customize that, yeah.
Yeah, so I know we've had some people asking about, oh yeah, I want my abilities to actually be on the same key. And this might solve that. I know Commander Smartass, he has requested a feature to help with that so that across loadouts and ship classes, his shortcut keys remain the same for different abilities. But by doing this, then
you still have to go over all your loadout and make sure you assign the same preset ID to the same ability for that to work. But yes, it works.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Good. I have to confirm with him after the stream here. So in my second one here, I just have no flak because I know that the flak has a strong overheat. So I like to have I'll probably have an option where I don't want flak online. I have another option here where I kind of have passive AMS deterrence is what I've called it. So I have my main larger weapon systems offline. Everything MK5 and above is off. My missiles are still active, and my AMS laser and flak cannon. So the small ship deterrents are still online, but I want to maybe push towards my AMS energy. So I don't want the large weapons consuming. The other one here is, yeah, everything auto except manual flak. And then the last one here is everything for my heavy weapons is set to a manual mode, except I turn the missiles offline and autoing. So in game, I would then switch between these presets. And then once I've switched to a preset, I still have the option to manually change the states of individual groups after I've applied a preset. All the preset is doing is it's applying the saved states for each group. And on some of these ships, especially if you have a really heavy loadout, one here that I'm definitely going to be using a lot of is the loadouts here for the Spinal Cruiser. So full auto on, but no cannon. Spinal cannon online with only passive deterrence systems online, so that I have some defense from enemy bombers that want to take me out. And then a capital ship engagement mode. I don't need a spinal cannon. Don't even want to think about it for a capital ship engagement. I don't have the railgun turrets online because I want to maximize my efficiency on large weapon systems. And then I have a pure spinal cannon only mode, just to make sure I have it there if I need to turn everything off except the spinal cannon. So, and now it will. I think that kind of covers everything in the UI side. We can revisit this once I've spawned, but let's go to a ship that's a little less complicated to start. I'm gonna go to the just the default destroyer for now. I think that's a decent loadout to play with. Go somewhere safe and away from any chaos. Eupraxia Station. There's a defense battle starting in a minute. Yeah, I'll go over there. Why not? See what happens. So by default, oh, sorry, just a sec. Got my track IR turned on. Turn that off for a second. Okay. Forward a bit. I'm gonna change the HUD color to blue in the environment, just so things are a little bit easier to see. There we go. Contrast to orange and yellow. Gas giant. Okay. So in addition to our weapons radial menu here, we now have a preset menu. But before I actually have my keybind set up a little differently from the default. So my keybinds aren't going to translate exactly. The default keybind is, I believe, left alt and then the number line to switch preset modes. Mine are set up to select squad members. So when
It's
I'm in a
right
squad.
alt, not left alt.
Oh, it's right alt. Okay. Well, yeah. I have it. I prefer left alt because I don't have crazy finger movement, but you can set it up custom however you'd like. I have under the keybinds here, I'll just run over to where is it? I think it's in the weapons menu, right? Yes. So we have a presets menu now in the keybind menu. I have it set to left alt and right mouse button. So and my chaff has been set on a different key. I've shifted things around to accommodate this. And that'll bring up the presets menu. By default, it doesn't have a binding. So you'll want to check that. There we go. Yeah, so you can actually, there's a question here. What I'm describing right now should answer your question. You can assign your presets according to keybinds as well as a radial menu. I personally prefer the radial menu only because it provides me fewer keys. It's just like I have fewer functions assigned to keys. I have more stuff going on with the radial menu. And you can see my naming categories for all of these have been set properly. It looks like the battle's starting here. I have a torpedo inbound, fortunately. Okay, so I'm going to actually switch over to passive deterrence. So I just click that now. I have it set to be open all the time. Like if I hold it, have it go away. And I'm also going to overcharge my weapons. I think we have a torpedo in. Okay, good. Thanks, Pendrocker. He just dropped a shaft there for us. Got a little bit of. We got Their Godmaster with support too. Okay, perfect. So by changing to the preset, I've now, all of my weapon states have switched. Okay, we have that coming in. Resources right now are being funneled how I want them to be funneled. Now if I'm suddenly going to be engaging a capital ship, I can switch everything over to my heavy mode. So everything is heavy but set to manual. Now this is the bug I was talking about. There's a firing mode where it's auto aim, but not. Sorry, it doesn't have auto aim unless you have a target selected. It's actually kind of leftover from the old Corvette control system, so something that we can address after.
Yeah, I will have to investigate that.
Yeah, so right now you can see it by the icon. So that icon was displayed, and the behavior was retained. So you can't really fully test this.
You should not have
yet.
that on Destroyer on above.
No, I don't think it's necessary to have something like that. I like the idea of having an additional weapon mode now that we have a way to quickly change all of the state sets for weapons. Because before, what would happen is I would be quickly going, oh shoot, I need to change these weapon groups, and I'm being shot at, and then it was just chaos, right? Whereas now I can just go, oh, passive defense. Okay, now I'm going to go heavy manual. I'm going to switch over to manual flak so that I can control when the flak fires. I don't want to have that overheat causing an issue. No flak, I can just turn it off like that. I don't have to worry as much about managing those systems directly. And especially with the proximity mines, warp jammer, I still have manual control for all of those weapon groups separately from that. So the goal here is in part to reduce the workload for weapon management on all control schemes, but also to improve. Did the battle just end? Okay. No, it didn't. Okay. But also to make it so that if you do have a HOTAS set up, you can assign a single key to manage all of your weapons rather than 9 or 10 keys. So it should make the control system easier for any input profile that you're using. Okay, I think that covers it in theory. The practical use is going to be a question. Right now, things are set up. There is that bug with the firing mode, so that's something that we'll have to address here the next few days. But the first implementation is definitely there. Oh, if we go to the main menu, no, not the main menu. I want to go to the loadout or the ship tab and have a look at the loadout here. So like I said earlier, all of this is accessible in this screen. And combined with the sandbox mode, new options for unlocks, setting up a loadout like this along with presets is something that you can test in that environment without having to worry about other players jumping in, right? There we go.
One thing you did not mention, but
yes,
you can modify the preset in-game. You don't have to do it while you are waiting to spawn. So you can modify all of that in real time.
Yeah, that's what I was just saying. Yeah, so I can do all of this here right now. So if I change this is just, let's call it random. Like so, pop back, and it is now here in the correct slot. So like I was saying earlier with regards to binding abilities to hotkeys, you could have the same ability, so detonate for missiles when you control detonation of that weapon system. You can have it on number 8 for every loadout, and then you only ever need that one hotkey that you can assign for purposes of your customization for your particular loadout preferences. So I think we're still going to improve that over the next couple patches. So any questions or feature requests or bugs, there's some things that we're already kind of thinking about, just making overall user experience for something like this smoother and easier to understand for new players, but also a smoother experience for everyone across the board. Let's see. Oh, we have a new weapon system. That's a good thing to note. I'm gonna go dock at the station here. One thing I can't do is just switch ships without blowing up right now. Overcharge engines, get back to the dock, because I want to talk about the EMP field ability, but there's also been a rework to torpedoes and damage overall in the game. Maybe Flavian, you cover some of that because we have a new 3 torpedo types instead of the 2 that we had previous.
Yeah, so we reworked a bit the torpedo system. So previously we had normal torpedoes, which we are doing about 6,000 damage. And they were, when they were hitting a ship, they were doing damage on the shield. And then depending on the shield status, the percentage, a part of this damage was leaking onto the hull. So for example, if you had a 50% shield, half of your damage would go onto the shield and half of your damage would go onto the hull. So that was for the whole torpedo. And then we had introduced, I think it was the last patch, an EMP torpedo. And that one was a specialized variant, which was doing a lot of energy damage. So it was not doing any damage to the hull, like even if the shield were down. And that was good, but it raised the question of like maybe we should also introduce a specialized kinetic variant. And so that's what we did. So just like we have an EMP specialized variant of the torpedo, we now have a kinetic variant of the torpedo. And that one is the opposite. It does a ton of hull damage when it hits the target at the condition that the shields are low. Which means that if you hit a ship with a high amount of shield percentage with a kinetic torpedo, you're not going to do a lot of damage at all. So like the idea is that you can go either with a kind of generic standard torpedo, which is going to do heavy damage both to the shield and to the hull, or you can go to the specialized variant, so the kinetic torpedo or the EMP torpedo, but those require that the target has the right weakness, right? So if you are using the EMP torpedo, you will only deal shield damage. So if you use an EMP torpedo, let's say on a cruiser that is low on shield, well, it's a waste of a torpedo, right? Because you're not going to do any hull damage. And vice versa, if you are using a kinetic torpedo, you better ensure that the target has a very low shield. Otherwise, you are wasting your kinetic torpedo.
Yeah, so it's really allowing you to design your bomber loadout around what kind of target you want to take down. And the other thing here is, from a squad-based perspective, if you want to maximize your impact in a bomber squad, say 2 to 3 people,
exactly.
somebody takes the kinetic torpedoes, another one takes the EMP torpedoes. You could have some balance for kind of middle of the road. You can leverage the benefits of both weapon systems. So somebody cuts down the shields, and then somebody takes out the hull.
There is only one hard point for torpedoes on the bomber.
Yeah.
So it forces you to make a choice. Like you can go for the generic standard, but you can also go for the specialized, like the kinetic and the EMP. And those are doing a lot more damage. Like considering the target has the right weakness, a kinetic torpedo, I think, is doing 8,000 damage. While the normal torpedo, now we have reduced it a little bit. So it was doing 6k damage before. Now I think it's doing 5k damage.
Yeah, 5k.
So it was to encourage a bit of playing with the specialized variant.
And you're saying that the standard torpedo launcher does both shield and kinetic damage, right? Yeah. No, it's actually showing right now on stream here on my screen that the E damage is just a dash, not showing energy damage. But it should function as 5,000, 5,000, right?
Yeah, because it's a UI problem actually. It's because it's hybrid damage.
Oh, I see.
So it's like if we were displaying 5,000 damage kinetic and 5,000 damage energy, you'd think you would make up to 10,000 damage, but it's not like that. It's going to be split.
Right, it's 5,000 split across the two. Okay, yeah. Gotcha. Okay.
So at some point, maybe we will have to modify the panel to introduce hybrid damage or something. So we cannot really, at the moment, really show that the nature of the damage is hybrid.
Yeah, and then so part of this conversation too around the new torpedo systems for bombers is the ongoing balance between capital ships and bombers, and how effective bombers are against capital ships. There was a question question just asked, don't you think that bombers have too many torpedoes? One bomber could annihilate a cruiser by itself. It's definitely harder to do that now because of some of the changes we made to how torpedoes are launched, how decoys are launched. There's a debate, or there's a question of whether or not the bomber should even be allowed to have decoys. That should be something that only the interceptor has. So if you are an interceptor, you actually mount decoy launchers that are then effective as an escort for a bomber squadron. So you working with a team to complete an objective would be that idea. Part of the reason for allowing some of these non-team oriented features to kind of linger in the game is because of low player numbers. It's hard to test those systems. Hard to test those systems with squads if there aren't
It's a bit
other
the
squads
problem
in game.
because, like previously,
Yeah.
the decoy launcher was interceptor on Corvette only, if I remember well.
Yeah.
But the problem is that nobody was using them.
Yeah.
So that's why we introduced it for the bomber to increase its usage.
Yeah. So if you're bomber pilot,
but yeah, like ideally, if there was a lot more cooperation into the game and we had very high player numbers, we would probably remove the decoy launcher from the bomber.
Yes. Yeah. So that's torpedoes. And then we've added a new counter to torpedoes as well as a very close-in weapon system called the EMP field, or an EMP field effect that the destroyer has. So that's.
Oh, wait. Before you speak
go
about
back
the
to.
EMP field,
Yep.
I think since we are on the topic of torpedoes, we should mention that we remove the torpedo launchers from the cruiser.
Yes, so we can go to that. So the cruiser used to have torpedoes. The original design, actually, there were really strong arguments both ways. There were some of us that didn't want torpedoes on the capital ships at all, and there should be an exclusively bomber weapon system. And part of the reason is if you're taking in capital ships as a bomber, you should have a weapon that's kind of exclusive to that role. If you're a capital ship, you should be using other weapon systems, manual fire weapon systems, to be able to operate and deliver damage to targets that way. One of the arguments against having torpedoes on the capital ships is that it allows capital ship pilots to sit back and just lob torpedoes at a distance while being resupplied and just constantly replenishing. The firing rate of the torpedoes on the cruiser and the bomber compared to the damage that they would output is similar. It's just the way that they were being used felt kind of wrong. So we're going to see how this goes. I want to see what people think of it and how it works. The missiles, the missile arrays on, let's go back to a kind of default loadout here. The missile arrays are still available on the cruiser, so you can still missile spam with a cruiser. It's just not going to be the same kind of damage output combined with, since torpedoes won't be there. The other side of this whole balancing equation is the AMS systems, or the anti-missile systems. Oh, it's interesting. My view just snapped. The anti-missile systems that the destroyer has, as well as the corvette, but really we're going to focus on the destroyer for this next part. So talked about torpedoes, now we have the counter to support to those torpedoes, which now include the range of new bomber weapon systems. So I'm going to come over to the, so I'll just bring everything online so I can see it all. Scroll right on down. Where is it? I was just looking at it yesterday. It's electronics, isn't it? No, it's not. Weaponry. Okay, so these are abilities. Active ability, here you go. We have a bunch of passive upgrades. So this will get added to my loadout when I add it. There's two different EMP fields. The first one was kind of what Flavian was wanting to have, is kind of a weapon system that you engage at really close range to an enemy target. It comes at some sacrifice to you, but if you time it right on the right target, you can deliver some pretty heavy damage, EMP damage. So cutting down a target's shields, some of the UI is clipped here, but we'll actually play around with it and see how it functions in game here. Second. So the focal point for the EMP field is the center of the ship, and the effective range of EMP field 1 is about 2.5 kilometers, and you're getting a fall off ramp. So at the extent, the 2.5 kilometer range, it's not going to do a lot of damage to a target, but as you get closer to it, you'll do more damage to the target you're intending to hit. Yeah. And we'll try that here. This one is more of a weapon that you would use in an aggressive manner, whereas EMP field 2 is kind of a way of extending or adding to the destroyer's existing AMS role on the field. So as an escort, if you want to, say, join with a heavy cruiser that has limited to none of its own missile defense systems, you could run with an EMP field that has a larger range, about 5 kilometer range. And what it will do is it'll cause critical damage to, let's see here. Yeah, let's just read the upgrades. So you're going to generate a pulse. It's not a lasting field. It's an instant effect. It deals light energy damage to all ships or allies included in a 5 kilometer radius from the ship's center. So, and again, just like with EMP field 1, there's a fall off. So it's much more effective in close than it is at a distance. But if your intended use is to disrupt the systems of shieldless targets like missiles, torpedoes, and mines, you could potentially knock out a number of targets that are a number of missile targets, missiles, torpedoes, bombs that are headed towards or through that field. And so timing it correctly, for instance, if you have a bomber that's stacking torpedoes at range and then accelerating towards its target at high speed, so high speed bomber runs, if you have an EMP field 2, we'll see how it works. The idea, the theory is that you could then time the activation of this field pulse at the right moment and knock out a good percentage of those torpedoes and prevent them from reaching their target. So if you're a cruiser pilot that gets annoyed by bombers using those tactics, you need to squad up with somebody who wants to fly escort in that way, or like stick with the fleet because they have those weapon systems available. And I don't think these weapon systems are actually used by the AI right now. Are they, Flavian?
No, they should not be. I want to add a little precision. So these EMP field 1 and EMP field 2 are only dealing energy damage on EMP damage. So this means that especially on a missile, torpedo, or a bomb or a mine, it's not going to destroy the missile, the torpedo, or the mine. Like if you select it and you look at the hull status of the missile or torpedo, you are going to see that it's going to stay at 100%. Instead, what it's going to do is to disrupt its targeting system. And as it's going to lose the target, it means that if it hits you, so I think if a torpedo hits you, it simply explodes without detonating. So you are not going to get a lot of splash damage over that. The mines are different. The mines, one of the differences between the torpedoes and the mines, other than the stat and the damage, of course, is that when the mines explode, hit something, they detonate automatically. So don't get hit by a mine, even if you have disrupted it. But in any case, they will lose their target. So they will continue flying in the forward direction they were flying previously, but they will no longer, try to target anything and to adapt their course.
Yeah, I kind of incorrectly said that they'll be destroyed. They'll be disrupted. Yeah, like you were saying, they'll lose their lock. So they've lost lock. You can then deploy it and then change direction.
Exactly.
I think it might be good to potentially have it deal damage as well, so you can prematurely detonate them without actually detonating to cause splash damage. But I mean, that's something we can talk about.
I mean, this
isn't our weekly dev call, so we're not gonna go too much into it.
It's the latest upgrade, so we need to do more tests and see really how we want to tweak it.
Yeah, and a lot of these new weapons and balancing and trying to solve some of the problems that people bring up with regards to bombers or the interplay between capital ships and how missiles and torpedoes are potentially being abused in different scenarios. It's like, I want to get as much feedback as possible. So if you have thoughts or ideas about how the current system is implemented, just let us know. Again, Discord and Steam forums. Yeah.
Oh, another
Slow
thing to
myself
note with the EMP field 2 is that since it's working in an area of effect around your ship, it can catch multiple incoming missiles or torpedoes. So you can effectively use this ability, let's say, to escort a cruiser. And let's say that somebody else is doing the famous bomber run tactic,
Yeah.
which consists of sending decoys and spamming torpedoes at a very high velocity. So now this might be an option to counter this tactic.
Yeah.
Because you
That's
have a
kind of
5-kilometer range, so it will depend really on how much space there is between the successive torpedoes. But you may be able to catch many of them with one use of the ability.
slow it down. Let's come in on escort with our barrier here. Try not to collide with anybody. No. Flying without the HUD. Okay. There we go. Oh, we got human players here. Perfect. Set my formation. No, not. Let's turn off the track IR. It was nice for a moment. Okay. So, deployed use of this weapon system. The visual effect is pretty bright, I have to say. We'll probably want to tune that down. We'll activate it in here. Oh, something that I didn't do. Got somebody lobbing. Somebody's going for the final shot on our barrier, I think.
Incoming threat.
I see it. I see it. Okay. Getting distracted too easily there. Customizing the loadout here, presets. I added that EMP field. I'm just going to add it here to number 10. Nice and far away from the others, so I don't activate it when I don't want it. So now, when I click, oh, it is actually right next to the. Put it. But as we're having this here, there we go. So it's further enough away. Yeah, okay, that just activated. So within a 5-kilometer radius. Oh, hello. Oh, I'm sorry, Pendraka. I didn't know you were there. I apologize. It wasn't the it wasn't the big one, but that's a good example. It is a weapon system that does damage to allies. You won't get punished, griefing punish for it. It primarily does damage to shields and systems. It doesn't do damage to the hull, if I'm correct in that.
Yep.
Right. So let's head over this way. Right now I have the low or EMP2 just sliding along. Get you set to cap v cap combat. I should put myself in a situation where I'm going to take some missiles here. Give it a try. Taking a few hits, hopefully it might work, engages. Let's get over here.
If you want to test it, you may want to disable your AMS laser as well, because they might get, whatever torpedo or something before you have a chance to use your EMP field.
Okay, here you go. Hello, fellow spaceships. I'm one of you, I swear. I'm Havoc, I swear I'm Havoc. Don't need to shoot me. Oh, you know what? The station is gonna start shooting me, isn't it? Oh no, I'm on the blind side. They took out that one already. Hopefully someone's watching the stream and in game and they'll come and fire some missiles at me, possibly gunman here. Looks like he's got me targeted. Coffee table as well. They're coming in for a, okay, yeah, and I'm going to start taking hits from the station if I'm careful. To engage some of it. Alright, so there's some missiles of my own. Switch and fire. Some missiles behind. Reorient back the gunman. They're just gonna hit the shield because he's hugging the shield. Ooh, I got hit by the station. Flight assist on. Shield got jammed. I don't think he's gonna... Ooh. An exchange of fire. Well, it's maybe not something that I'll be able to demonstrate in-game on the fly. We'll see. Oh. Hello. So that thing should have lost its target. Right there. Whew. Yeah, I'm toast. That would be a great time to use it. I just used it prematurely there.
Yeah.
What do we have? What do we have? I've lost all of my... Lost my HUD.
And that's so it consumes quite a bit of energy, and
Yes.
it harms your own shield as well a little
Yeah,
bit. So
it does do damage to my own shield, so it's kind of sacrificial. I'm saving potential hull damage by expending shield damage here. Yeah, and gunman's gonna finish the job easy. No problem there. Now the only problem with using it from here, yeah, is it turned off all my other weapon systems, right? So yeah, so it's something that requires a little bit of testing for different use cases. The range might not be large enough to have any real effect or impact, so that's something to think about for feedback. We've kind of, what is it? We're at almost an hour here. We have a few more items just to kind of go over.
do you want to go over the list quickly?
Yeah, the gameplay balance tweaks, non-exclusive manual firing modes for the Corvette. That got changed. So the way that the Corvette weapon systems operate has been changed. They're now more in line with how capital ship weapons are managed. I think this is set to default. Yeah. I'm just going to rename that. It's popping up as a different group name. Okay, let's pop over to the Corvette. So the Corvette in this update, weapon systems are going to behave more like capital ship weapons. And funny enough, I was testing last night, the Corvette's weapon systems, when you use the presets, don't have the same bug that the capital ships have. So we also have the warp jammer here. Okay, I'm going to spawn here at... Let me go spawn on, yeah, I can spawn right at the battle with the Sir Godmaster, providing mobile spawn point for us here. Okay, I can actually turn on my, oh, let's leave that off actually. Okay. So, the way that the Corvette weapon systems now function is like a capital ship. So those weapon systems, I'm just hitting the weapon group keys. And it has the multiple modes. And then this is where the manual aim, the auto aim manual fire with a target selected is something that's active on the Corvette. And the reason for that is Corvettes tend to go one-on-one against smaller ships, so they don't need to have their weapon systems trained on a bunch of different targets at one time. And that's why the auto aim auto fire system on capital ships works the way that it does, but why we need to have a slightly different approach for the Corvette. So with the Corvette here, and that's part of the reason I'm saying that this weapon system would be good on capital ships as well as an option, is that if you want to focus fire a single target, you could do that, and it would change how your heat and energy consumption works to hit just that one target at the expense of hitting other targets with the turrets that can't see that target. But yeah, so the Corvette, that's kind of the biggest update for it. I can now use all weapon systems active at one time, the way that I would with a capital ship. And then using the presets. So right now I have auto, so I can set everything to auto, one click, or manual. So I have more control. And auto, I like to have the missiles online because I manual fire with missiles. So, missiles are always manual fire, whereas with with manual fire for my two weapon systems, I want to control when it fires without firing a missile. When I fire a missile, I can just turn it on normally. So weapon management for the Corvette should be more streamlined, more straightforward. Always kind of been in that midpoint between small ship and capital ship. We've had a reluctance to just give it the capital ship controls. Okay, that's the Corvette. What was it here? Yeah, Corvette's default cruiser no longer has torpedo launchers. We covered that. Critical hits can disable missiles, torpedoes, and mines. If they're damaged, they'll actually power down or lose thrust or lose their thrusters or lose a target if they take too much critical hit damage. So that should make missiles.
Damage.
Yeah, or energy damage. So you can interrupt or disrupt missiles in different ways now, and that's where the EMP stuff comes in as well. Upgrades have been adjusted for missiles and torpedoes as well. I think we kind of glossed over that a little bit. Oh no, I don't have.
Yeah.
I don't have chaff inbound. I've made a mistake.
I think so.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to manually dodge if I can. Let's go auto fire. I've got 3 of them on me. Oh, that's no good. And I'm flying with a control scheme I don't typically fly the Corvette. That's okay. They're gonna take me down. I'm not, let's see. Yeah, I've got, 2 targets out of 3. Oh, right. Just slow myself down here. Turn track IR on for a second so I can actually see. Okay. Hey, I survived. Good.
Nice.
Okay. Yeah, so weapon systems in the Corvette should be easier to work with. Why did I fire chaff somewhere? Ah. Oh well. I unbound it when I was playing around with other systems. Okay, so I'm going to... Oh, wait. Hang on a second. Oh, question from... I believe it's... Yeah. Question from Commander Smartass. There's no cycle present in the binding. There's no cycle present binding. So right now, let's see. I guess the question is, for a hotkey that actually goes in sequential order for each of the presets. Probably unbound by default, I think. So you could have... You hit that key and it goes from 1 to 2 and then from 2 to 3 and sequentially like that. That's an interesting thought.
But I don't know about that because right now you have no obligation to put different weapon groups in different presets. So you could have the same weapon group in preset 1 and in preset 2, but with a different state.
Right.
So if you hit that cycle key, Like, would it simply do the equivalent of enabling preset 2?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, I don't really
think
see
that's
the
what he
use
means.
case for that.
I think what would end up
And
happening.
what if you have a preset with some abilities? Like cycling the preset would enable all the abilities as well?
Yeah, it probably would. You could have it, maybe you could have it set up so that it ignores abilities when you cycle. Like that's a thought. So that the abilities become one of those things you choose to whether or not you want to have in the preset system. Something
I mean,
to
the
think about.
advantage I would see is that it would reduce the amount of keys you need. So if you had, let's say, 4 presets and it was ignoring abilities, just like you have here on your destroyer, then instead of using 4, especially on a OTAS or a joystick, 4 buttons, you could simply have 1 and simply cycle through all the presets. So that's the interest I can see of the idea. So I don't know. Maybe we could add it.
Yeah, no, I think it's a good idea. We should maybe discuss it a little bit more tomorrow in our weekly meeting. Maybe we can keep that as a note. Thanks for the suggestion there. Smartass. Let's see. I think that covers pretty much everything. I kind of had some key points summarized here. There are other things that have been adjusted, and there's more information about all of that in the patch notes on Steam. You can check that out there. Yeah, there were some issues, some minor bugs, HUD UI and bug fixes. So text scrolling in menus was improved. There were some controller dead zone issues that a couple players were running into. Light flickering, we had, I think it was the light order, and the order in which different lights in the scenes were being rendered caused the sun
the
flicker
sunlight
across.
to flicker a bit sometimes.
Yeah, especially in large battles, lots of lights.
Yeah, in terms of bugs, I think an important one, which I had noticed like last patch, but I could not figure it out. That was the lack of shield impact effect on your own ship, on capital ships. You know, we have this new shield propagation effect, and that was not working on your own ship. It was only working on other ships you could see, but not your own ship. That one is fixed now.
Right. Let's see. Oh, they want to leave players alive. I guess for now. Let's see here. Yeah, there's more listed in the total notes. Have a read through if you wanna know everything that's been adjusted and how things have been changed. Some of the numbers are some more numbers there. You can also just have a look at all the settings in game. And let us know what you think of the recent patch. Feedback is good. Let's see. Got some people in game now. I think that's it.
So maybe we can finish with a word about what we're doing next in the next patches.
Yes, yeah, that's a big topic in the sense that people want to know what we're working on and when to expect an update.
So one thing you have noticed is that the past few months has been going slow. And half of it is because we are entering a bit the final phase of the development. The idea is still to release the game this year. And we still have a lot of internal stuff to improve or to rework. And there is a big one coming, which is the database. So we need to prepare the database for the full release. And I'm not talking about database performance here. I'm simply talking about doing database architecture changes, especially in order to support the ability to have account persistency across servers. Because right now, every single server is saving locally your progression, you know, your XP, credits, what you have unlocked, and everything else, that is stored per server. And we want to move that to our database, to our infrastructure. And so it will not matter anymore which server you are joining. You should be able to find all your unlocks, all your rank, your XP and your credits again. And to do that, we need to do a major database update. It will also us to add or to prepare the database for the the Kickstarter and the Indiegogo rewards. For example, we have the bubble heads, the statues, some of the skins. So a lot of the things we had promised multiple years ago. And right now, some of this stuff is already implemented, but it's still in the experimental stage. So for example, the bubble heads are determined randomly when you spawn a ship. And obviously, we don't want that to be random anymore. We want to link that to whatever reward tiers you had when you were a Kickstarter backer. And so that's the whole idea. And we also want, to do a marketplace with cosmetics, which is why you have a part, into the in-game menu on the top left with your statistic. We have cosmetic points reserved. Currently, it's always at 0. But at some point, the idea is that you will earn cosmetic points in game, and you can refill your cosmetics also on the marketplace, and with that you can buy more bubble heads, more skins, and more stuff for your ship.
Yeah.
So it's a bit the idea, and all of that requires a massive database rework. So that will take probably, if everything goes well, maybe a month or 2.
Mm-hmm.
And we are going to try to continue to do patches meanwhile, but the patches are going to have less content, which is a bit what we've had in the past few months. So do not expect any major feature in the next patch. It will be a bit more content. We still have to add more planets, a couple more upgrades, or maybe tweaks to the weapons and so on. Balance changes. We will continue to do this. So all of that we will continue. Bug fixes, improvements into patches. But in terms of gameplay features, I think we're reaching the end now. So there will be more, UI improvements, more special effects. We have more effects coming in, things like that. But no new gameplay features really.
Yeah. I think it's fair to say that we're feature complete at this point. All the core.
Pretty much. I think we're
stuff.
close. Yeah.
Yeah. Just kind of a milestone we've been reaching for a while. And it's nice to actually be getting to this point where we can focus on improving some of the user experience issues with some of the menus and polishing up new player onboarding. We've been working on tutorials in the background as well, so
Yeah, it's another thing we will be working in the coming weeks. Another thing we will work on in the next patch probably is to add the ability to have a separate profile, input profile per ship class.
Yes.
So I don't know if you want to give a word about it.
Yeah, I'll definitely talk about that one. That one is that feature is something I've been looking at having for a while. Where currently under the control menu, and we might shift some of the positions of some of these things just to clean stuff up. So the controls and the keybinds are pretty similar, but controls and keybinds are very closely related. So for the control schemes here, everything to do with your control inputs, all the options, settings, etc. are here. And then you also have the control input, default control scheme per ship. So depending on your controller setup, what kind of input devices you're using. If you got a HOTAS rig setup or you prefer keyboard and mouse, you'll essentially dictate what control scheme you're going to be using. So whether that's virtual cursor, the capital ship control scheme, which can be applied to any ship, joystick, gamepad, HOTAS, that one there. Oh, I actually didn't have it set while I'm flying right. Okay, that's fine. So whenever I switch between keybind inputs, I prefer to have keybind for my capital ships and then a keybind for my thrustmaster setup. I've got a joystick, throttle, and pedals that I use for flight, small ships. And then I pair that in the control scheme with this control scheme here. So the idea is to take this current input profile and have a variable input profile per ship class. So by default, you would have one control default keybind file for your small ships, and then one for the large ships. And then they can kind of now stop sharing keybinds between both control profiles or control schemes. So you would have a keybind preset for small ships and a keybind for large ships. And then if you want to build a custom profile for each ship class, you can do that. Is the idea. And by doing that, I can fly capitals, keyboard and mouse, or I can keep my small ships with the joystick and my HOTAS setup, and then I can seamlessly switch without having to change settings every time. And it also, and it frees up keybinds. Yeah, and it frees up keybinds per ship class. So you end up with an environment where you can customize every single ship's keybinds with more fine detail as to what exactly you're setting up. So it kind of, I think it would augment or add to the functionality that already exists in the keybind menu, which is pretty robust. There's a lot of options here for multiple keys, axis locking, key combos, allow multiple keys, all sorts of stuff here that different people have requested over the years. So once that gets implemented, I think that's probably one of the last remaining larger UI items, but it's actually not that difficult of an implementation from what we were discussing last week. So I'm eager to give that one a try soon. Yeah, I think that covers everything. I think that should cover it. I'm gonna switch this over to joystick. Got that set up right now. There we go. That's right. Okay. Yeah. Thanks everybody for jumping in on the live stream and watching. If you have any questions still, maybe now's a good time to ask. Fires on, off. Yeah. Sorry, just reading questions. I could actually turn the music on. Yeah. So we're kind of at the end of the development update. Again, like I've said a few times now, patch notes in the description. Jump on Discord. Let us know what we think in the feedback channels. You're going to be streaming the game. You can share links there to let us know if you want us to join you for some gameplay, that kind of stuff. And as well as on Steam forums as well. So we'll answer as many questions as we can there. If you find bugs, let us know. And I think that's everything for the update. Unless anybody has any last second questions, which may or may not also be here. Nope, they're not. Okay, yeah. Not seeing any questions popping up. I'll keep an eye on things as I play today. And we're gonna probably be playing for the next hour or so. Reset. That's good there. Yeah. So are you gonna be sticking around to play a little bit there, Flavian?
Nope.
What do you think? No.
Not this time.
No worries. Taking a break. They tend to crunch before these batches. So thank you for
that's the problem.
thank you for your efforts on this one. Let's see. Oh, I just noticed something with the patch notes. It says 6th of February 2024. We're in 2025 now.
Oh yeah. Oh damn.
I've done that. I've done that a few times now as well. It's every year.
Yeah, I think my brain is still in 2024.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. I don't really have anything else to say. Let's kind of conclude the developer portion. Thanks, Flavian, for joining us.
Yeah, no
And,
problem. I will
answering some
be
questions on
watching the
stream.
stream, even if I'm not joining the game. But
Okay, sounds good.
I will watch the
Yeah.
stream.
Yeah.
All right
Oh,
then.
right.
Have fun and see you later.
Thanks, Flavian. Have a good night.
Yeah, you too.
Okay. So I'm going to jump in and do some gameplay stuff. My intent here is going to be to test some of the new features, see how the use cases for the preset modes work. It's going to be a little bit difficult with that one bug, but I should be able to get around it okay. We'll see how it goes. A good question here. Shielding from the EMP on small ships. Because it does EMP damage only, it doesn't do, like, if you don't have any shields on your interceptor when you're nearby, you're gonna, what would you call that? You're not gonna receive that much damage overall. The other thing is that the range, at the moment, at least, the range of those weapon systems, those EMP weapon systems, is really, really short. So the first one is only 2.5 kilometers, which is not a lot, especially given how quickly you can accelerate and move. And for you to take critical damage, you're going to end up with, if you're going to take critical damage, you have to actually be within, I think it's 800 meters of the target. So if you're hugging an enemy cruise destroyer that has this upgrade, you're already putting yourself in a position that's I think very unlikely or improbable. The likelihood that you'll actually be impacted by this negatively. It seems like the way that we've built it out has more of an impact on capital ship engagements, slow moving, where they can get in close in their engagements, and it may have an impact on the way that torpedoes and missiles get used or are affected in defense with the anti-missile function for the second one. Yeah, the comment about the interceptor losing its purpose more and more. Part of that is that the balance and focus has been it's tough. We have small ships engaging, and you get your capital ships engaging. So you're getting that large spread of engagement scales of engagement. Since there's not really an environment that's forcing you to play at a small scale in a tight quarters environment with small ships, everything's out in the open, so you can approach capital ship as a small ship or capital ship engagements. Suddenly they're out in the open, which is most of the time you're going to be able to reach small ships. So finding a role that fits the interceptor a little bit more specifically as a support ship for or an escort for corvettes and bombers, that's kind of where the decoy system, the decoy weapon system for interceptors came in. High mobility function, you have as an anti-bomber role, you could maybe think about having different weapon systems that provide more efficient anti-missile, maybe not anti-missile, more efficient escort systems for the interceptor, or that, things to think about. Yeah, playing as a small ship, you definitely don't have the same impact as you do as a capital ship with regard to objectives. That's a good point. I'm going to talk here. So main focus for me right now, I already had some time playing around with manually aimed AMS. You can do that. Or an AMS system on the interceptor? I don't know about that one. Oop, I'm just going to turn the music volume now that we're in combat music. Alright. There's a squad to join. Shadow Fleet. Shadow. Sir Godman. At 5 squad. Looks like they're on Discord here. Well, might join that chat in a minute. I do want to have a look at specifically EMP field, the big one, the one that will likely have the more impact. And if I'm going after capital ships, I don't want that loadout. No, that's my light loadout with railguns. I'm gonna go for the low tech. No, sorry, default for now, and turn that off. MP field 1 is good. Not gonna add them to the presets. I want to use that as group control. Fine. Yeah, fixed guns. There's a good comment there about fixed guns. We've talked about having spinal weapons for the destroyer, spinal weapons for the Corvette. The Corvette, I think, has maybe the greatest potential for something like that. There are stealth systems on the Interceptor. Audio did something good. All right, so destroyer. I'm going to try the EMP field in an active engagement. I think we're currently on a defense mission at Apraxia. Okay, so I'm just going to go there. Deploy. No, because I had the previous control scheme set up, I have to do this quickly. Push my keybinds back. Capital ship bind that I use. My primary objective here is going to be to take on somebody I can escort. Primary objective is going to be to try to deploy this the EMP field in close proximity to a target that has a lot of shields, like this guy right here. So I can't set formation on enemy targets. It's been like that for a while now. That cruiser is getting awfully close much faster. So I'm going to get in nice and close. Now the keybind I have set is 9, but I can use my radial menu to just drop it right there. Okay. I'm going to drop a mine as well right before. So that reaches. And I want to get within 1 kilometer range of this target. So here we go. Within 1, 5. I'm going to sacrifice some shield energy. I'm within 1 kilometer. I'm getting closer. Okay, so shields have been stripped. There we go. Mine hit. I just did massive damage to that target. Okay, so protected objective score. I did 24% damage to the hull of that target. Station's doing, by and large, most of the damage here. Got another user here. Switch target. Now, I took damage to my shields by using that weapon system, so if I use it too often, it seems to be replenishing faster. I'm gonna bring myself in close. There's a lot going on right now. To match trajectory, matching vector. Let's bring it in. Okay, ship's running. Okay, I'm gonna stay out of the way of that. I'm gonna get in nice and close. It's gonna be down before I get there. Yeah, he's going down fast. Yeah, at this point it doesn't make sense deploying it. I would just be sacrificing hull. Sacrificing energy for no reason. AMS lasers, why are you not getting that target? Inbound. Oh, I should have used it. Could have tried it. I have more inbound though, we can try. Where are they coming from? Nope, they've been taken out. Using it as a last resort to knock out the targeting on missiles. I don't know. I don't know if I'll be able to. I need a way to see that more effectively. Deploy the warp jam. Okay, I need to move back. Okay, let's accelerate. Get out of here. Ooh. Black burst. Yeah. Let's go. Go watch where I'm going here. Okay. Slow myself down. Yeah, the question about it being OP, that was maybe best case scenario. It had a high shield, and then look it out. That ship wasn't shooting at me, right? So it's distracted thoroughly, already distracted by both the station and other targets. Ooh, help. Yeah, there's no flickering going on in the lighting anymore, which is good. More volumetric lighting on these smog would be nice. Some are mimicking. Oh, I don't know. Okay, let's try this again. Okay, larger target. I'm going to employ the use of the warp drive. Catch up myself directly on top of it. Never mind, just got jammed. Too much happening. It's hard to get close to anything and use this. Oh, here we go. Okay. Deploy that. Let's deploy mine right there. Let's get nice and close. Yeah, cruisers not having anti-missile systems. I mean, that was an intentional choice. Ooh, okay. But it does kind of put them in a position now where if cruisers are also now vulnerable... Oh, I'm out of energy. Okay. So, Pendrocker, your point about it being potentially OP, I agree. However, currently, let's see if I can set this to passive deterrence so I'm not using energy. But I need to maintain energy. If I don't have enough energy to use the weapon system, it's not effective. So I have to plan ahead a little bit more if I want to use this. That's where, yeah, these resets are going to help a lot with these kind of tactical decisions. Being able to quickly switch from a preset that kind of prioritizes anti-small ship weapon systems and then suddenly switches to capital ship versus capital ship engagement. You're going to put yourself in a situation where you end up being able to react quickly to the changing or battle context. Yeah, I'm not actually contributing much. That first target definitely got taken out fast though. The best way as a cruiser captain or commander to effectively counter bombers is by having a destroyer escort. Or sticking near AI destroyers that have the ability to then use their AMS systems to deploy. It becomes the question of, okay, well, why not have players control the AI, issue orders, want to have AIs that, or bots that fly wingman. There's conversations that have taken place around that, but it requires a lot more intelligence on the part of the bot system. They're not that smart. Okay, I'm going to join the squad here. Hello. Let me in. Okay, I'm going to let that repair for a second and then swap into the other Discord channel. Apologies if the noise is too crazy, I'll switch back. But it looks like we got... Oh no, there's a lot of people actually that have their mics muted right now. Might be using in-game VoIP. No, they're jumping over. Hey everybody! Just to let you know, you're on the stream now.
Hey.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like like saying so many bad things about this game and how much I hated it. That
I bet you were. That is what you do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love doing that.
Okay. Well,
Just
how's it going though so far? Some of the I'm
Okay,
sure some of you have had a chance to test out the preset stuff.
Yeah, I even flew a destroyer once.
Oh, and how was that experience?
There
Dummies
was
work.
no Guitar Hero anymore. But I was actually missing the cycle thing. So
Okay. Yeah.
I bound the radial menu to a button that I can access at the same time as my thumbstick on the other stick. So that kind of worked.
I'm trying to
But a cycle
remember
would be
what you
better.
said for the button.
Which what? Sorry.
For the preset thing.
Oh, okay. In the keybinds, it actually doesn't have a default keybind, if that's what you mean. The radial menu, I'm just showing it on my screen right now. I believe it's under weapons and targeting. Where is it here? There it is. Okay. Presets menu hold. So you can either, it works the same as the weapons radial. You can either bring it up and leave it open, just with a single click, or you can hold and the depress selects. Let's see.
Okay.
And then the other thing here is the weapon presets. By default, it's set to right alt and then 1 through 0, which is quite the key binding if you're using a keyboard where you have a right alt all the way on the other side of your keyboard. I have it set to, let's see. I have my target squad leader is set by left alt and then 1 through 8. So I might actually switch that. So yeah, I'm going to switch that. I'm going to get rid of that target squad leader.
Ooh, I just barely have
Take a moment to customize this a little bit. And then alt 1, 2, 3. I do it when I'm not on a stream too. Talk to myself while I'm on the. It's normal, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Fine.
I'll set that like that. The other thing that I was missing is I think my deploy chaff button. When I was experimenting last night with the loadout, I disengaged it so I could use the left alt as an alternate. I don't think I have it active. Capital ship flight, common flight. I think it's bound to anything. Select test to remove. I think I just moved past it somewhere. It's not bound to anything, so it's not highlighted. Don't visit this screen often enough anymore. Riveting stream content here. There it is, launch chaff. Oh no, I have it set to tilde. You know what? It's not the worst keybind. A little bit of a reach. I have it set differently on my joystick. Maybe I can have a look there. This is in the QWERTY Hutch profile. You know what? Let's try that. I won't be needing it right now. I'm going to try the cruiser with the preset modes. Orbital bombardment, OBP, assault, orbital bombardment platform assault mode. However, in this loadout, if I remember correctly, I have the spinal cannon. Yes, there was the upgrade for firing rate. Apparently not. Okay, no, that's the assault one. Should be fine. Here, I don't think the spinal cannon's munitions are shown. Oh, heavy ammo? 5,000? No, that's not spinal cannon. I'll have to make a note of that. Spinal cannon is not displayed. Shown. Okay. Okay, we're looking at Xanthar Station Rival. This is going to be our target. We're another space engage. If I hit deploy, it's going to take me to the nearest station.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Hi, Ups.
Oh, hello. Squad lead. Squad lead. To switch my keybinds back over to the
Yeah.
capital ship. Okay, good. Let's do. Oh, no.
Yeah, I think I got 3 of the GHNs.
There we go. It's just really slow. That's what I'm running.
Yeah.
Slow. Hang
Find
on a
out an
sec.
only interceptor carrier.
Oh, why can't I dock and refund? Why can't I dock? Dock. Bug.
Yeah, that's a common thing, oddly enough.
Shadow
Interesting.
also had that on
Others happen having that happen. Just
Okay.
half a
with
year
that.
ago too.
Really? You just had that happen?
Yep.
Okay, you know what? I'm gonna add a note.
Also, there was a visual bug or like
Spook.
odd request thing that had shown thing. When the support ship gave me healing, I also got a message that I cannot resupply my sharkcraft because combat. I'm like, what?
Oh,
I'm
okay.
and it was when we were attacking the one station before.
Oh, as the carrier?
Yeah.
Yeah, we removed that. So if the station is under attack, their resources
Oh
are
no,
being.
we were attacking the station, and a
Oh,
supply ship. You know,
a
I
support
don't
ship.
know.
A support ship wasn't able to replenish. I don't think that a support ship can replenish your
Yeah, they gave the
ships.
message. So.
Okay, that's something to look into. I'll maybe add that to the feedback channel, or the bug reports channel.
Yeah.
If I can dock and refund here. Okay, I can dock and refund at the other. Couldn't. That's interesting. That's at Eupraxia station. I think we were at. Let's confirm that.
It's at any station that it happens
Any
at.
station. Oh, okay. It just did it fixed again. It's intermittent. And the other thing, Flavian is watching, so he's probably going to be taking notes about this.
He's spying. It's compiling.
Okay, and then you were saying for carrier. Carrier can't resupply strike craft.
Due to combat message when support ship uses a bot. Also, the AI really need to stop hugging carriers because, good lord.
Oh, is it happening with the carriers as
Yeah,
well
I
as?
had
We
I
had an
had a
issue with the
fighter stuck
corvettes.
in my hull. I had a bomber just ram the top of my carrier and die. It's like, what is even?
It's this one. Those are all set nicely. Okay. This ship should have much more mobility. It is not heavy. Way over there.
Feels like everything's more maneuverable now.
Yeah.
Maybe I was playing something weird.
Getting stuttering on menus. I don't know if that's just on my end. I did notice a bit of a performance change. The last. but nothing that's affected me to the point where I can't play. Or... Alright,
It does
flipping.
lag when you spawn in the middle of a fight at times if it hasn't been loaded up yet. So who knows?
Yeah. Loading. Okay, works. Not sure about the Alt right-click keybind because I already use right-click for weapon management. Alt right-click brings up presets, but I don't think I want to reverse them. The presets are going to be more important than my weapons radial.
Yeah.
Actually, I think I might want to switch them.
I'm not sure you actually need direct weapons when you have useful presets, right?
True.
Very often.
If I've
Sometimes
got
you
strong,
might, but very rarely.
Carrier is the only difference because you actually have to swap between bunch.
yeah, you're swapping hanger and loadout controls. Got to manage both. Haha, can we make support ships come with pets and drones, little escorts? Talked about that kind of stuff in the past. I know it's something that was on the feature list. That being said, it's unlikely that it's something that we'll be adding, mainly from just the point of view of the amount of time and resources we have available for that kind of a feature set. I'm just going to switch my keybinds. So hop back over here.
To be honest, having AI like at random, like min-max, have a protect value of certain unit types. So like for carrier, support, corvettes, they have a chance to just protect.
Okay, that's saved. No,
So
right click.
basically just passive pets.
Yeah.
Well, or maybe these kinds of submissions, right? Where AI or you have these missions like protect this guy for whatever 5 minutes or and then,
yeah. The submission
and then you don't have
system
chaotic battlefields, but each drone will actually do certain things based on what appears to make sense on first glance.
Yeah.
And maybe you can spend some of your points to get an escort, right? Which should make it easier for single players, right? When somebody's alone and he wants
Yeah.
to have an escort of let's say 2 destroyers or 1, that you can spend some points and ask the AI command, hey, can you give me an escort?
Yeah, that would be interesting.
He gets it.
Yeah, it could even be an maybe an ability or an upgrade. Maybe not. We'll think on that one. Ooh, I'm joining the fleet. Hello. There's a lot going on here.
Yeah.
Okay. Station is still out of range of final cannon. Getting closer. For now, got Spine exclusive. Cap versus cap. The IWS deterrence. But I also want full auto. So this is where, yeah, so I switched to the CIWS deterrence. I keep the SSM batteries online, phalanx turrets online. So if missiles or torpedoes come at me, I still have a limited defense. Because I'm a cruiser, I'm going to be hugging allies here. I don't know if we have no squad target. No, that's okay. I'm just going to focus fire on the station.
To be honest, I think this is a better target for now.
Station shield 30%. Yeah, so the preset gives me a good control or option to
Yeah, you might.
I think that destroyer just dropped my shield.
Also, hard to
That's
have
the energy thing, right? What kind of range does it have? That energy field?
the strong one about 2.5 kilometers. And that's
Yeah. Then
if you're
then the
if you're
friendly destroyer killed my shield.
oh no, yeah, if you're super close, then yeah, it becomes an issue.
Yeah, I was helping him
Broadside.
destroying Titan guns on one of the cruisers, and then plonk, he knocked off my shield.
Oh my god. Alright, there is a flaw with using only interceptors and telling them to attack capitals.
Yes.
I've lost at least 20 interceptors from torpedoes hitting the capital.
Oh, okay. That was one thing that I actually forgot to mention in the patch notes. I'm gonna find it because there is a minor change to how shockwaves deal damage to fast-moving targets. Fast-moving targets weren't actually getting shockwave damage applied. They were
Splash damage equals
Yeah.
shockwave effects no longer cause accidental griefing of nearby allies.
yeah. Hang on a second. Wait, what? Where's that?
That was right in gameplay and balance tweaks.
Oh, yep, there we go. Splash damage, shockwave effects no longer cause accidental griefing of nearby allies. Yep, there you go. And we fixed a bug that caused high velocity targets to go through those expanding explosions and shockwaves without taking any damage. So that's probably why your small ships are getting taken out by splash damage from torpedoes. That makes sense.
I just saw one torpedo explode on the destroyer, and then I looked and saw at least 10 interceptors turn red from green. Like, oh, well, I think I know what happened.
Oh, that was the...
Does it mean when I shoot rockets with the heavy interceptor that all of them actually hit and they don't kill each other?
It means
Because it
Probably-
appeared to me
probably.
that a
Yeah,
lot
probably.
of rockets
I had to think
didn't
of that for a
actually
second.
explode on target, but exploded because the other rockets exploded in front of them.
What's going on? It's firing, it's firing. Shield is at 3%.
Which is one of our spinals, so gotta protect him.
It looks like all of their orbital platforms are down. Is that right? Like it?
Don't see
Yeah.
any fire, so.
Looks like there's a shield on the opposite side of the station that's protected right now. I'm gonna head over there and hit it from the far side. Oh, it's at 2%. Never mind. That shield generator is gonna go down quick.
Are you guys doing a capital ball here?
A little
I
bit.
see that.
It's kind of
Yeah.
happened on its own.
All
but
the capitals sit on one place, 100 kilometers away from the station. Come on, you pussies, go in there. You have big ships. What the fuck is going on here?
Oh, it's a
Well.
very fast way to not have a big ship is to leave them.
That is true. Oh, there goes the last shield generator? No, there's one down. There's only one left. One more shield.
Hutch just has 3 corvettes protecting them.
I'm actually leaving the fleet, so I'll become a target here. Okay, here we go. Get over, get a better angle on this. Ooh, hello. You are both going to outmaneuver me. Skip on by. Enforcement wave over here. Match 2.
That looks like a NEM.
Select it. It looks like a small shield generator on the top uppermost section of the station. Small ships will be able to pop in there and take it out though.
Still one
30.
left? Okay.
Yeah,
I think
30.
I thought I killed all of them. Then.
It looks like it could be a small one. I don't remember what
Gonna
the
be
big was
warping
in
up
the
near
station.
you, Hutch.
Alright.
I'm
Let me
popping
have
in
a look,
really
see.
close. No, it's a big one.
Old act.
I can just takes a while.
Alright, perfect.
We got a gunman in a
Yeah.
carrier.
Changed will put out the carrier and waited a bit so it's not as cheating. What I decided.
Oh, you're a slow mover right now. You're a slow mover. I'm gonna miss. Am I?
Yes. It's going over.
Across the bow, warning shot. Okay, I'm gonna be taking
Well, you
WS
got escorts.
deterrence. I've got multiple torpedoes inbound. Roll. Up. Come on, take it. Yes. Another one. Focus. Good. I need to get away from this.
This is gonna hurt. Torps everywhere.
No torpedoes inbound.
Can't see any shield gen. Oh,
In-
I'm blind. There it is.
There's room for all sorts of MFTs as well. Could add. Did I overheat? Yes, I did.
It's just torps.
I set the bombers after you.
Wait, did that shield come back online? Why'd the shield come back online?
It came back online for a moment and it went
I think I don't think it was an error. I think it was the
It's so many bombers.
Endorka, can you slow down a bit, or are you already?
Let's see. Let's see.
I'm already.
You are already gone. Okay. Nice.
Yeah.
I'll be slowing down in a second. Oh, it's I don't have free formation, sorry. Here we go. It's time. I have not lost us. Oh, there's everything around me.
I'm gonna overheat
Now I might
really
start,
quick.
start losing something.
Oh, I have a cat that wants my attention.
Search and destroy. Search and destroy.
Ooh, that's going good. Okay, now I'm liking the presets as a default control scheme for capital ships. Definitely. Oh, wow.
Holy shit, that's a lot of
There's a lot of ordnance coming in.
Yeah, it's all mine.
Those are all
It's all mine.
the bomber squadron, right?
Yeah, I only have bombs.
Jeez.
I haven't lost a single one.
Well, how it should. I don't remember if this was asked at all before, but if the carrier dies while its strike craft are out, what happens to the strike craft?
They retreat, so they leave the engagement and head to. I guess you could say they warp away, so they're probably headed back to a nearest base or something.
It's all for bold
I'm not
action.
gonna hit anything. Yeah.
I've lost my first bomber.
Yeah. So what's
Like
happening?
10 minutes into the battle.
Yeah.
There we go, that ought to help a bit. Alright.
Oh,
Perfect.
hello. What happened there? You rammed me. How could you?
Dislodged the... Now we have to get out of here. It's dangerous.
How dare you? This is your destiny. Oh no, I'm gonna collide with an asteroid now.
Oh, it just... I did
really-
a better job than I thought.
Oh, I'm gonna shoot an ally. No, it's,
Through
it-
that space.
that's gonna hit
That's the
somebody in
most
a few
effective ram I've ever done.
in a few 100 million years. That might hit someone. Yeah. Oh. Fortunately, projectiles that don't hit anything despawn after a while. Yeah. Okay. Yeah,
Crazy
drones.
gunman left his people here.
Drones are something we've talked about having. Where is it?
Yeah, carrier's more important. Well, I mean, ironically not, because I'm gonna go offline. So. Yeah, I have to hop
Your
on.
own people sacrificed.
Yeah. Well, we already lost. We lost at least 40 today just
What a
from
player.
interceptor strikes.
He's like Zeb Brannigan when he sends wave after wave of his men to overload the kill bots.
If I can escape in an interceptor most of the time, then they should be able to do it, and I'm not going to hear any excuses.
Okay, I'm just gonna do something quickly here.
There's a bomber to your rear. Hutch.
Yep, y'all have a good rest of your play session.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, fine.
Apparently the game wanted to have the drone heal you, Hutch, rather than Dark.
There we go. Thanks for the resupply. My shields are not replenishing. Smart retargeting activated. Oh, you know what? Ooh, I am getting some audio bugs or something. Something's happening with processing. Need to reset my audio now. Yeah, I'm getting some interesting spike happening. Okay, I'm back. That should be cleared up. Good. Yeah, it sounds much better.
Another space battle. Oh, great.
Really?
So now at this point, Hutch, you are the squad lead because you have the largest ship.
Well,
Did we have a single ground battle today?
I haven't
Not yet.
actually. I'm gonna make
No,
a note of that.
We have.
Hey, Flavian.
didn't
Oh, you're watching. I wonder if there's something going on with ground battles versus space battles. We're currently experiencing surplus of space battles here.
When I joined, it was
Base is
1-1,
destroyed.
1-1, and it
Except
was
the
a
base is destroyed.
station fight.
Sorry?
So, when I joined, it was a station fight, and the score was 1-1. So,
Yeah, I actually haven't seen a ground battle the entire game so far. I'm pretty sure. Been
There
was it
were
2 hours?
two.
Oh, there were 2 earlier on? Okay, when we were talking about the,
Think so.
the feature sets, probably.
Or
in the-
maybe when I was not.
Yeah. No, that's fair then.
Or the AFK.
Yeah.
Well, what's not fair is when the game starts, you have like 4 or 6 in a row space battles.
Yeah.
One near the Gallia, then on the gas station, then you go to one planet. Might be 6. Until
all
you
the
finally
battles
get
at
the
this point.
first
Yeah.
ground battle. Like after 4 or 6 space battles. It's like 2 hours of play in space.
Yeah. Yeah. A bit much. I'll make a note of it.
I actually like attacking with my intercept. I like attacking ground stations. That's actually kind
Yeah,
of nice.
the small ships have a little bit more
Going
of a role.
through the things, going in cover, shooting from cover. It's kind of fun.
Yeah, you don't end up with that highly saturated capital ship environment.
Also, would be great is planetary environment affecting your ship.
I'm just gonna set my screen to AFK for a second. Just for stream here. Moment.
Should I?
Okay, and I'm back. Could have actually left my mic on there. That probably would have been okay. Just to log in commands. And we're still some of the visual effect stuff that Jan has been working on, like the warp effect trails, the warp effect entry exits. He's still working on stuff for those, refining what we have currently in game, and then he's been working on stuff for the re-entry effects, and a few other things there. So should be coming soon. That stuff. Okay, I'm gonna run a defense.
Oh, there's a fighter who can dock.
Gemini's underway.
Lovely.
I'm gonna go to Kalios though. At my target. That way. And the next tutorial that we'll be releasing is the warp navigation tutorial. So we're working on that one's scripted out. Plugin should be implementing all of that soon. And then the capital ship control scheme, or capital ship control tutorial. Two of them, the basic flight for capitals, and then weapons. Which the weapons should be a little bit easier for new players, I think now. We'll see. We'll see. Still some stuff to work on. Streamline.
Do you?
Sorry?
You don't have the presets like anti-fighter, anti-capital for what I saw on DST, right? So the presets right now, they are just one weapon at a time, diagonally, effectively. It's not like, oh, this is a good setup against fighters. This is a good one against. Capital,
so I built a bunch of them last night. Flavian just put together just a default setup, so one per profile and that diagonal for the defaults. I've built a couple that I feel would be good as introductory presets for the defaults. So I've shared those with him already, but it's one of those things where you can share them too. They're kind of tied to the loadout though. So if you're going to be sharing, if you're going to be sharing,
it's mostly for the default chips, file. Right? For the default loadouts that they come with default presets as well, right?
Yeah. So I think it makes sense to do that. I've shared some
for new players that oh, this is how to use this weapon, right, as an auto thing, and this. Like that they don't try to manually aim the AMS or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean it's good having. What did I just do? No, it'll be good to have some presets there. So gave him a whole wall of text feedback last night. Oh, he's working through it, but he's taking a break because take a break. All right. Well, I've tried that. I tried the loadout system.
2 space cannons already gone?
Yeah, that was fast.
So what does the loadout system do?
Sorry?
What's the point presets in the loadout thing?
Oh, well, we spent a good chunk of time talking about it earlier in the stream, but essentially what it does is each preset represents a save state for your weapon group modes. So you can then swap between those saved states by using either the radial menu or a keybind. And what that does is instead of changing each weapon group individually between modes, you use a single key or a single action that changes all of the groups to match that preset state. So you're flipping between, so if I want to have a destroyer and I've got a bunch of weapon systems that I don't want active because they're kind of they consume a lot of energy or they produce a lot of heat, I can have a preset that's designed specifically for small ship engagements and that kind of a scenario, or limit my heat production so that I can focus on. Yeah, it's kind of more use case. Or if I'm going up against capital ship, I don't need my small weapon groups draining energy or producing heat. I just want to focus on those larger weapon groups. So I'll build a loadout preset system that does that. So there's a lot of stuff still.
With one click, you can switch between them, right? That's the thing. You don't have to press. Oh, I have to press 1 2 times, and now I have to press 3 for 2 times, and you don't need to do that. You just press that one button, and then you go to. Oh, now I'm fighting fighters, and now I'm fighting big boys again.
Exactly. And I think there's the thing I'm curious about is what to do with abilities, because right now the abilities are tied to the weapon system. Most of them are weapon-based abilities, but if they weren't in the weapons groups, you could have more weapon types, and you get into you could have more than 10 groups. But then the question becomes, it becomes a UI question at that point: is how do you display that? The current system maybe isn't friendly for that kind of a system. But oh, thanks for same. Yeah, the game still has pretty visuals to play. And there's some stuff that we've been working on that should getting static coming in from Serial Knife. Your mic sounds like your mic is doing something. Yeah, there's still pretty visuals in game. We're gonna be doing a polished pass on a lot of the stuff here as we sprint towards release. No release date announced at this point. But we're pretty well feature complete, so we can come back to the different stuff that we need to polish off here at the end. What do I want to test? I could try the bomber. Interesting. Oh,
Lots
something.
of people have Nemesis is here. It's the second FADM fighter I'm
Yeah.
shooting here.
Something we didn't mention during the stream or during the update portion is that small ships have exclusive groups. So an exclusive group, you could only have one item in. The preset system still exists for those ships, like for future proofing potentially. So I'd like to see a mode where you can have multiple weapons, or what would you call it? Unlock exclusive groups on the sandbox.
Or just don't group by type, right?
Yeah, well, it's right now it's grouped. They're grouped by weapon type, but if you could have railgun and mini blaster, my argument for allowing small ships to have multiple weapons fire at once is that what it does is, I mean, it turns the weapon control scheme into a similar to capital ship control scheme. But what it does is it means that each weapon is kind of specialized. Like you don't really benefit from having your railguns and your mini blasters firing at the same time if it means you're draining your energy twice as fast and you have fewer shots, right? Like you have to have really great accuracy for something like that. And also the projectiles move at different velocities, so you're going to end up having difficulty with your. There are different arguments for it. So if you got near or match velocity weapons and you could group them up, I think give the player the freedom to try it. Might not be bad.
Even have a second fire button.
Yeah. We had that.
Which would immediately solve the
Days.
problem. Because right now, on
Yeah.
Interceptor, I will always only have one weapon type 4 times. I will
Yeah.
not split that up.
Yeah.
It's just not going to happen. And that
Yeah.
means there's all this depth of possible different weapons and all these things that I will simply not have.
That
As
is
long as
that is
there's
a
only a single
fair
button.
argument. Which torpedo do I have on the default? Go to my heavy torpedo variant. All the upgrades are already implied. Oh, no, it's under weapons, right? So I want to try the kinetic torpedo. That might be much, but we'll see. EMP torpedo was interesting, but the kinetic torpedo feels like the kill shot. And if I'm flying solo, you know what?
Leaving.
You're not a carrier
Crest Wars.
out there?
There's a Crest Course carrier fighter just leaving the battlefield. It's unusual.
That. Is there not? There is. Deployable. Nice. But you're at the objective. Good. Spawning on you. Okay, let's have a look. Wow, there's a lot going on. This is a pretty battle. Ready.
A dusty one for sure.
Ooh. Yeah, I've already got multiple targets. Have destroyer. Yeah, the tactical map needs its their pass. You're on your own out there. But you have full shields. I need to pick a smarter target.
Do you want that destroyer over there? Torpedo kits?
Let's see.
I can take out the same as here. Same as.
Mark, come over here for a
Well,
quick
I have a bomber with kinetic torpedoes. What are you?
Ah, you need a shieldless one.
I need somebody to cut the shields for me, or to fly a bomber with the EMP torpedoes, and then coordinate.
I could do that, but
Yeah.
I really lost flying a bomber. I probably flew bombers 6 times in all that time.
I gotta pick a target that already has damage to the shield. There's one. Setting squad target. Warping. Warp is online. Range 200 kilometers. Kinetic torpedo launcher. There's no AMS support in the vicinity. Not much, anyways. Passive. What is happening over there? Oh, warp drive just kicked on.
I can take care of its CVs so that it goes after me and not your torpedoes.
Okay, sounds good. Ooh, my rudders just stopped working.
Oh,
I'm good. I'm good.
There is a dead destroyer right on our base now. It had no shields.
Shields are at 65%, so I'm not going to do as much as I was hoping for, I don't think. And is it now embedded in the... Nope.
Yeah.
Okay, we're good. Let's see how this does. He's getting support. Repair.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gotta set this to ship. Oop. Can't zoom.
Well, you don't have to go far now.
Oh, it's a spinal cruiser as well. Good. Okay, here
Yeah.
comes a hit. It looks like I'm gonna get a good hit. No, not quite.
Did it shoot or did I?
Not sure.
Shoot?
I think.
Because I
think it-
hit his eyes. I'm not sure. I have enough.
An eye
for
on
that.
6. On 6. Okay,
Oh,
good
that
hit,
was a
good
hit.
hit, good hit. His shields are too strong now, though. I did 3%
another
damage with that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, shields are barely getting affected. All right, buddy. Here's
another
gonna-
spineless shot.
let's ram that one at a Corvette. See if it uses.
Again,
No.
interceptor's leaving. Crest Corps interceptor's leaving. Know what he's doing. I guess he's despawning and respawning, and his fleet is leaving.
Oh. direct hit with a spinal cannon on a cruiser there. He actually killed it. Shoot. Shoot. Oh, this isn't good. I forgot what my chaff button was.
I need to speed up to my own.
Let's see. I don't know. Kinetic Torpedo. Is somebody else going to run? Hey, what do we have in the squad?
Yeah, I will put
Yeah.
someone.
Let's team up
I'm
here.
not good at it, but I mean, better than nobody.
If we pick the right target, we'll be okay. I'm also going to take some decoys. Not too many though. I don't know. The bomber can have up to two decoy launchers, which is, what is that? Where are the decoys? They're not listed. Why are they not listed? Are they light missiles? Are they classified as light missiles? Yes, they are.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So decoys are useless in this case since AMS always targets torps first.
The AMS doesn't know.
The AMS doesn't know which one's a decoy. That's the point. So what it does is, you launch you launch a decoy or two first, and then you fire your torpedo. If you're flying a bomber with decoys. However, its intended purpose was you're flying a bomber, but your escort interceptors fire decoys ahead of you. Wait, what's going on? Did I not? Did the carrier just blow up? Oh no, we're good. We'll have Kresker here. We're on defense. I don't need to.
Kresker is using all his bombers to destroy our cruisers.
I just saw part of the station just explode for no reason.
And then he respawns and...
I think the shield is... Oh. Oh yeah, he's just sending his bombers. The thing now though, when a station is being assaulted, oh, okay. Got a destroyer right here.
Yeah, but he's despawning and respawning. This is all bug. Come on. He's despawning before when he's out of fighters and he respawns.
Let's see what this does. 46% shields. Ooh,
you can't
that did a lot.
resupply while defending, but you can respawn. You're disrespecting the fighter designer. He left the flight assist on purpose.
I actually don't even have a button bound to enable and disable it. I just usually don't have it in my ships. And now I didn't know how to disable it in the bomber. So I had to fly back and rip it out.
Okay, let's pick a target here. Oh, we have two carriers here. Two carriers. Okay, let's pick a target. Oh, jeez. Yeah, he's sending his bombers after Vadim. Rar.
Yeah.
He's got like 6 torpedoes on him. But he's warping though. Yeah, he's evaded all of them. Okay. Double click to recenter. Tactical.
Yeah.
I don't see any large ship targets remaining. No cruisers, enemy cruisers except for players. If we want to try for serial knife, I'm sure he won't mind. You're muted right now though. So the other thing we could do is go for Pendrucker. The carrier, but it has a lot of AMS. That's a hard target. Same thing with... Okay, let's go for those cluster of 3 destroyers. Turning to bear. Warping. Okay, 10 kilometers. I have decoy. Okay, 2 decoys away. Whoa.
I'll be over here, so if you need a supply and repair, come to me.
There's a lot of AMS right here. Hey, I'm lobbing decoys.
Me too.
Okay. EMP's hit. Firing kinetic. Oh, chasing him in. 3 away.
Your
1 hit.
enemy carrier's open.
2 are gonna take it down. 2 down. Wow. Okay, target destroyed.
I think.
Yeah, that helped a lot actually.
I think I have more launches.
Okay, next target. Target set.
I tried to evade a flak like an interceptor, which for some reason does not work with auto.
Okay, decoys away. 8 remaining.
Smart, come over to me. I'm nearby.
See, this is where interceptors attacking us would be a problem. Okay, I've got 2 more decoys. Oh. What happened there?
Shiver
Oh,
had,
he wants to.
I-
He wants to. He
Had a
wants to
hiccup.
fly away. Come on. Come on.
Yeah, hit the red Wi-Fi signal.
Nope. I just took critical damage. I'm down.
The Torps missed him.
That was
I
interesting.
got a destroyer on me right now.
I have 4 EMP Torps left, okay. Sorry, Hutch got distracted by a VAR.
That's okay.
Or Ra. And he moved away.
It looks like one of our carriers might benefit from moving further away from the station.
You mean Crashcore, who's exploiting?
Well, both of
He's
them right now.
despawning. Yeah, he's despawning his carrier because he lost his fighters, and he
Oh, what?
respawns at the station.
Oh,
That's
I
always
thought we
been
stopped.
possible.
I thought we stopped
You
that.
you stopped resupplying. You stopped resupplying. Yeah, that works fine. But despawning, he can easily despawn and respawn on the station.
I thought we fixed that. No, like the actual despawning,
You-
respawning thing. I thought we fixed that.
Resupplying is fixed. Resupplying is fixed. You can't resupply
Yeah.
fighters in defense, but you can despawn and respawn.
That's very upsetting.
That is why you won.
I think there's still a
Your game no
cooldown.
longer works in not parallels.
Kinda
I'm playing
wanna-
it.
I thought he wasn't able to respawn at the actual station, but he's been doing it, eh?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we stopped the resupply.
EMP hit. Your
Oh, sorry.
target is now almost shieldless.
I'm spawning.
It is shieldless.
Here we go.
Oh, and now it's angry.
I mean, it would be fine to do that if he resupplies all his fighters and then he could despawn on the defense station. Then yeah, then I would have no problem.
Yeah. What we were like, you should be able to undeploy, but if you redeploy, you should be locked out. Maybe. I'm not sure.
Yeah, redeploying, you could lock out that.
It's definitely
Yeah,
an exploit.
definitely. Despawn is fine. It's spawning on defense with a carrier, that's kind of strange. Just you deploy like 5,000 ship points.
Say when
in the
you
battle zone.
want some decoys fired on him.
Here we go. It's not moving very much. It's not moving at all. Okay, one should do it. Yeah, decoys are getting taken. Didn't hit. It didn't hit. It didn't hit. Don't even need the decoy.
Wow, yeah, it's
It missed again.
oh,
That's okay. 2%. He's
2%.
down.
2%. I'm doing
Another shot. Another target down.
Oh, I actually
Oh,
just
mind.
noticed.
Is that base on the planet? What is it?
Oh, base is a good sign, yeah.
Okay, good. Land assault. Got a land assault happening here now. On offense.
Broken.
Okay, what do we want to try here? How can I best use some of the new stuff? Oh, a little bit of a lag spike there. I'm pretty stable. I had a crash last night while I was customizing presets. So I wasn't sure if we were going to experience a crash on stream today or not. I'm actually reaching the 3-hour mark, I think, so I've got another about 15 minutes or I'll have to drop off here.
What happened to all the torps for cruiser?
Torpedoes have been removed from cruisers in this patch. So part of the reason is I think we explained it at the beginning of the stream, but
It says
it felt
default
out of
cruiser.
yeah no for all cruisers. So the default cruiser doesn't have torpedoes. I'm pretty sure the you know
Patch
what?
notes
Hang on.
says default, so
Let's see. I don't think heavy has it either. No.
heavy doesn't. It just has 2 more missiles.
Yeah, just missiles. So there's no torpedoes for cruisers anymore. Yeah.
It's good. Had too much going for it. In the end, everybody had a cruiser. It was boring.
Yeah, it's very strong. It was very strong, and it's like a fire and forget weapon system, and it would oversaturate already oversaturated. What do you call that? Ordnance. Oversaturate the number of targets that AMS had to deal with. So.
Yeah, and it's better when you have to do a choice, right?
Yeah.
Do you want a big brawler like a cruiser, or do you want to have a real damage dealer? And that damage dealer is a bomber. So
yeah,
classes have some reason, right, behind them.
Yeah.
The
We wanted to.
cruiser was too good a compromise, right, before for everything.
And if you fill out the bomber role more, it actually ends up creating a role for the interceptor again, which is anti-bomber. So. Yeah. But we'll see. We'll see. There's the balance between bombers and cap ships has been a constant back and forth for the past few years. So, how it goes.
What's the EA ground attack?
It's been so long since I played. Your game was launchable on crossover and not parallels. And then you updated it, and now it's launchable on parallels and not crossover.
Yeah. I guess you're using a different mic there, Hawksters?
Yeah, I'm using my. So I have my Mac Studio, the M2 Mac Studio, and it's got no mic.
Wait, you are playing it in a VM?
Yeah, I'm playing it on parallels right
Crazy.
now. Yeah. Oh, I just slammed it.
It should work in crossover.
It doesn't. It can't open the game. The physical file structure that it needs to run the game is too deep. It's in Mac and not Windows. Oh, middle mouse buttons now. Oh no.
Oh shit. Oh shit. I'm in the bomber.
Heal. Oh, I'm gonna slam into somebody again. Oh no, we're good. How do I target people? There we go.
That's an important one.
I was hitting the Y button and not the T button, and I didn't realize it. So I thought the game, you guys changed the button, but I was just hitting the wrong one.
We need people to protect the carrier.
Target had a lot of damage. Carrier under assault?
Yes, it's at 14.
Oh, okay. Well, I think it might be a little too late then. Ooh, Hawk,
I'm sending.
I can't believe it. I'm gonna die in 5 seconds.
You flew right into the fleet.
I did. I did.
Admittedly, yeah.
Very much.
Ooh, hello. That's a mine. I have to be
I'm
careful
keeping
with
you
splash damage on these
alive.
explosions. Here goes another one. Just had 3 pop. Okay. Target Corvettes.
He's not a space station.
Our carrier is still alive.
Yeah, I think we're okay, considering. Yeah, okay. We
It was a
basically-
1 HP 3 times in 3 seconds.
Okay, the space battle's basically been won up here. I'm gonna head down. Yeah.
That's really deceiving. So when you spawn in a space station, there's little dust particles. And in the cockpit, it's dark, so the dust particles with walls look like space.
Okay, new task. We've got a bunch of little guys that just got dropped off by Pendrocker here. Let's cut them out. Take them down. Where are they? Where are they going? There's one. Oh, I'm out of... I don't have a lot here.
Number 6, please attack hatch. Yes, my lord.
Number 7, dance for me. Like you've never danced before.
Oh no, I have an entire squadron on me. No! Oh, this is not. Use the rocket launcher.
Pick the wrong space station to jump back to where you want from.
It's a powerful weapon system, but it's not intuitive. Shoot. It does nothing. That's sad.
Who's firing torpedoes at me? Because they're going through my hangar.
No, don't eject me, boy.
Well,
currently
question.
playing-
I'm actually gonna be switching to kind of ending my stream, so I'm gonna pop back up to the other audio channel here for just a few seconds. And I'll pop back in after I close it out. I just want to answer a couple questions and then end game here. Right, I'll be back in a moment. All right, I'm just gonna switch channels. There we go. Yeah, just concluding the stream. Like had a little bit of play with some of the different weapon systems that we've added. Torpedoes, the EMP field effect for the destroyer, which seemed very OP the first time I used it. Not so much the next few times I tried to use it. I think I got lucky on that first one with a good EMP hit and the mine dropping. Let's see. Yeah, so answering some questions, some recent questions in the chat here. Where was it here? Loving the feeling of flying. That's great. Want more small fighters that are more agile. Yeah, more ships is something that's not going to be happening. Not for a while. It's part of the reason why we introduced the chassis system, because it emulates different ship statistics without having to create new assets for the game. That's the argument there. Then it subsequently applied to all ship classes. Let's see. Want to see a wormhole or warp to battle, because it's kind of boring traveling as a noob. Interplanetary travel or interstellar travel in the game universe is through like a jump drive rather than a warp drive. The warp drive being your kind of fast travel mode that we have. So it's in universe from I guess a lore perspective, and the jump drive system is it handles more like what you're describing, which would be a point-to-point teleport with a timer. Yeah, traveling as a new player with warp, the first few times can be tough. What you can do though, and I'll demonstrate because it's kind of worth seeing. If I just use the standard, so engage my warp drive and let the warp drive handle speed for me, it kind of makes it so that I don't over accelerate into things. But I have my keybind set up so that I have a throttle. I can set that throttle, but I also have a key dedicated to acceleration. So forward acceleration. And I'm getting a warning right now because I'm manually accelerating past the safe limit. So the scaling speed is based in part on points of interest. So a station or a planet being the gravity well interfering with the warp. So right now I'm just holding down forward acceleration, and my warp travel gets a bit ridiculous. Like I'm almost maxed out my warp travel right now. And I'm just holding forward acceleration in warp mode. So you can quickly navigate around, but you got to be very careful because it doesn't slow down the same way. Right? So you can still push past that safety limit in the same way that you can in non-warp flight mode. And since the acceleration is no longer retained on entry, it's easier dropping in and out. Stop that. Oh, that's a good place to leave it, maybe. Just gently drift. Yeah, I just powered off the ship. Yeah, there was another question there that I missed. Powered weapons defenses are half and half. A question about how kinetic weapons don't draw power. Some weapons have mixed, so they'll draw energy and also accumulate heat. Others will draw energy and not accumulate much heat. So it's a balance of that across the available weapon system, different ships. And yeah, the large ships are kind of vulnerable to the smaller, faster ships. So bombers. Comparison to Star Citizen. Different game, very different game, very different environment. They both have their focus. Kind of a neat shot. Yeah. So I'm gonna stop the stream here. Thanks to everybody who popped in and played during the event. Hopefully we can see more events like this in the future. We've all been pretty busy with in-world stuff lately. But as we move towards the next release, earlier on in the stream we talked about our upcoming schedule and what we're building on the back end. to support moving towards a proper release date. And I think, yeah, most of that was all covered kind of at the end of our development portion. So about an hour into the video. Yeah, and that's it. Well, thanks for coming out, and we'll see y'all next time. I'm just staring at the screen right now, getting distracted by it. Yeah, have a good one. See you at the next one. Fly. I was about to say fly safe. I'm watching too many Scott Manley videos. See you later. Cheers.